Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mad Church Disease Podcast. I'm your humble host and servant, Marcellus McMillan, and welcome to tonight's program. I'm cleaning the spectacles here. I wasn't actually altogether ready. But I wanted to get you guys in here tonight. Pastor Elijah McDavid III. We're going to continue our discussion as it relates to the scandal that has been uncovered, as it relates to the love, the lies, and the heartbreak of the statements that have been made from his current now wife, who, according to her, has been served with divorce papers. If you are unfamiliar with the Elijah McDavid III story, it is a story that has captivated the internet as it relates to the fact that this is a man who, in less than, according to 1 year of marriage with his now wife, is now trying to end that marriage. And his wife has made all sorts of accusations and statements as it relates to her marriage and her situation. Now, for those of you that know me and you understand this platform, I try to be balanced and I try to be fair in this situation. And I definitely want to give Elijah McDavid III a platform. He's most certainly invited to come and say his piece as it relates to this situation. But I also want to give balance as it relates to the so-called mistress. And I was thinking about this over the last couple of days, and something hit me because I've had to deal with, on a personal note, women who have been accused of being with the pastor and being in a relationship with the pastor. And actually, that's not actually been the case. And I want to take the conversation a little higher tonight. I've already had dinner, so I'm in absolutely no rush. Just so y'all know, I've had dinner already. And so this is going to be a very interesting conversation. I think I'm probably going to even break a little bro code here tonight. So brothers, forgive me. I want to have a real adult conversation. At the age of, where we are at this stage of our lives, we should be allowed to have a whole conversation about it. So we're going to be discussing tonight Pastor Elijah McDavid III. We're going to talk a little bit more about this scandal that has hit the internet, and we're going to talk about it from a higher perspective. And so I want you to strap in. If you have not gotten you a glass of wine, if you have not gotten you your favorite beverage or drink or some popcorn, get ready, because you guys know I am mad church disease and I will not ever hold back. And I'm definitely going to bring the madness.
Mad Church Disease, a channel that's all about current events, news, and Christian drama. A channel that's dedicated to our forgotten brothers and sisters throughout the ages. Our brothers and sisters who courageously stepped outside the safe bounds of institutional Christianity to tell the truth. A channel whose goal is to help the average person understand that Jesus plus nothing is everything. So like, comment, subscribe, and smash the notifications button to be a part of this channel.
All right, everybody. Thank you so very much for coming back to this particular video. If you are new to the Mad Church Disease channel, this channel is dedicated to our forgotten brothers and sisters throughout the ages who stepped out of the safe bounds of institutional Christianity to simply tell the truth. My goal here is to help everyone to understand that Jesus plus nothing equals everything. I was having Christmas dinner with someone during Christmas, and they read our tagline. And as they were reading Jesus plus nothing equals everything, she said to me, well, what do you mean by Jesus plus nothing? And as she got to the word everything, she paused and she stopped. And she said, oh, I get it. And my goal here is to help you get it, that Jesus plus nothing is everything. Shout out to you, Ann Brock, of the old Black Church. Thank you for being here tonight. I'm going to acknowledge a couple of you. I just want to make sure I acknowledge Ann. But she got it. And I hopefully over here in 2026, whether you're a pastor, whether you are a former church member, whether you're an atheist, whether you're an agnostic, whoever you are, I'm hoping that you will get it, because some of us have developed a relationship with God outside of a lot of foolishness and a lot of situations. There's a lot of politicking that goes on in the institution. And so hopefully we'll be able to discuss these things in a free, more organic way. And I hope that you all will see that, understand that, and be able to perceive that. This is going to be one of these shows. I promise you, you better hold on, because this is going to be one of these shows. It's going to be very informative, and it's definitely going to be one of these shows where you definitely have to take a step back and a higher look about this. If you're new to my program and you would like to be updated on all things mad church disease, you can find out about all of those things by simply subscribing to the email newsletter. You can go there. Now, I want to say I will be updating the newsletter when I get off of this live with you all tonight. If I'm not too tired, I'm going to go ahead and update all of the email addresses and everything so that you guys can get all of your notifications. Understand something. I have not updated the list in a while, and I'm going to update the list tonight. I've got about 240 something comments from our last video that I need to get through, as well as update all of our email list and all of that. So please be patient with me. Don't attack me. So just give me some room. Okay, please. Thank you. But you can keep up with all things Mad Church Disease by subscribing to the email newsletter, and you can get all of that information. Okay. Also, if you are supporting the Mad Church Disease channel, please feel free to do so. All of that information is on your screen. Ladies and gentlemen, we have entered into 2026. We are at January the 2nd of 2026, and I need for everybody that can and that will to support this platform. We ask that at least 10 of you guys, when we go live, to do at least $10. That helps us to cover the budget of the program and to make sure that I can afford to sit in this seat. Okay. And so we just ask that you guys go ahead and support the platform. Our major platform of doing that is Cash App, and that's with the $ Mad Church Disease. All right. You have all of the other things that are on the screen that can, of course, help you, and that will help you to accomplish that goal. I will be calling some of you guys' names who have supported the platform, and I will definitely be doing that. So thank you so very much, and I appreciate that. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I didn't put my notes up here. My notes are still down here, but I want to read this. In the case of Pastor Elijah McDavid III, the ongoing controversy surrounding his personal life has thrusted him into the spotlight, ladies and gentlemen. It has sparked a flurry of competing narratives and intense public scrutiny. The world of high-profile religious leaders is often shrouded in a veil of reverence and admiration, but beneath the surface, the challenges and the complexities of such a position can almost be staggering as well as overwhelming. As a charismatic and influential preacher, Pastor McDavid has amassed a devoted following, captivating his church audience with powerful sermons and unwavering faith. However, the recent events that have unfolded has threatened to tarnish his reputation and raise questions about the realities of being a prominent religious figure. And you guys know I'm not new to this. I'm true to it. Being that I've done this for so many years, I have understood the complexities of this, but also being able to bring some balance to the conversation. This situation has really begun to intensify when his wife, accused another woman named Karishia. I hope I'm saying her name right. Caricha went live on social media sharing her claims of not being his mistress and having an affair with Pastor McDavid. The pastor's wife, in return, reposted her video, making it clear that she does not accept this young lady's explanation. With competing narratives now public, the controversy surrounding Pastor Elijah McDavid appears to be escalating day by day. Pastor Dave McDavid, if you're thinking this story is going to go away, sir, it is not going away. Now, in this particular video, what my goal is to explore the challenges and the benefits of being a high-profile religious leader. We're going to dive into some intricacies of Pastor Elijah McDavid's rise to prominence and the ongoing scandal that has captivated everybody's attention. I'm also going to be dealing with what it's like to be accused of being a mistress without anybody providing any proof. I'm going to take this from a different vantage point because I have seen and been in churches where women have been accused of being a mistress, and these women have not been a mistress. Some of these women I have known personally, and they have not been anybody's mistress. And some people have used that to defame these folks' character and say all sorts of things. And we're going to really dive into this conversation tonight. And I'm going to take this conversation in a level that you may not have heard about, that nobody has ever talked about. But all I'm asking for you guys tonight is your patience, and allow me to be the person that I am. Y'all know I'm not new to this. I'm true to it. Now, you're going to get a lot of other people talking about this, but not in the way of somebody who has been in church leadership, who has been in these types of situations where other people have made all sorts of accusations and all sorts of things. I plan on giving you guys about 8 things that I want to dive into this conversation tonight. And so we're going to take it from a different vantage point. But before I do that, shout out to all of the members. Shout out to all of the subscribers, all of you that are supporting the Mad Church Disease channel. I really do love and appreciate you guys. I say this stuff, and I don't think sometimes you guys really think that I mean what I'm saying to you. But I want to pause for just a minute and tell you how grateful I am for all of your support in 2025. And for those of you who will come alongside the Mad Church Disease channel to help me and to help individuals who have been victimized in the institutional church get a greater awareness of and understanding and be able to stand on their own spiritual 2 feet. I am a person who believes that if you understand and develop a relationship, because let me explain something to you. My mother and father didn't tell me about Jesus. I didn't find out about Jesus from my mother and father. So Jesus was not a central focus in my home. But the Lord Jesus found me. And because he found me, that means he had a purpose for me. He had a call for me. It was prophesied to me in 1993. Now, see, this is stuff that maybe some of you may not know. You might be new to this platform. I was standing outside of Crenshaw Christian Center, which was pastored by the Dr. Frederick K.C. Price Sr. And as I was getting ready to go into the sanctuary, there was a woman of God who stopped me. If my memory serves me correctly, her first name was Deborah. And Deborah said to me, she said, "I don't know you." This lady didn't know me. She didn't know nothing about me. She said, but I never forgot this word. She said, "God is going to use you to deal with church leadership. You're not," she said a whole bunch of things, but I'm paraphrasing. She said, "You're not going to understand everything. You're not even going to feel qualified to talk about it, but God's going to deal with you with church leadership." And she said a whole bunch of other things. I'm not going to get into the totality of it. That was in 1993. It was not until 2006 or 7 that prophecy came to pass. I am sitting in front of you right now talking about church leadership and church leadership issues because it was prophesied in 1993. So just understand, I'm just not on here talking. I'm trying to tell you all something. I told you all the time, I'm not a perfect man. I'm not perfect, but I am purposed, and you need to understand that. Shout out to Dr. Blue. I appreciate you. Dr. Blue gave a breakdown of that Jamal Bryant yesterday. Lord, she scared me. She gave me such a good breakdown. That thing scared me because at the end, she started talking about Jamal Bryant and the sound of James Cleveland. That thing made me so nervous. I ain't even gonna lie. I got so nervous. I said, I better get up out of here. I better get out of here. Get out of here. I got to get out of here. But that was something else. Stephanie, shout out to you. Shavella, thank you for coming in. Sister Bia1, thank you. Leandra Butler, thank you. I hope I said your name right. Regina, my friend over there at the Juice Radio and Talk Show, shout out to you as well. Moni No Love, one half of the Wonder Twins, thank you so very much. Understand, certainly, folks, this is not a church show. This is a show about Raggedy Church. We talk about the issues that need to be discussed that your pastor will never talk about, and that's why we're here. April, good to see you here. April Eccles. Notice I didn't say Nichols. Shout out to you. I appreciate you and thank you for being a member. Shy Rosalind, thank you. Bam Ford, thank you for being here as well. Mary Night Contrary, thank you for being here. The second half of the Wonder Twins, Lynn Pearson, is here. Shout out to Beauty for Ashes. I appreciate you being here as well. Let me see. Who's here? Etta, thank you for being here as well. Thank you for all of you. Jesus, thank you for being here. Hello, sir. Shout out to Kathy. Thank you for being here. Miss Trial, thank you for being here. I'm almost tempted to say Lottie Dottie and everybody. I don't think I'm gonna get to the end of this list. Stephanie, shout out to all of you guys. Riri, shout out to you, Riri. Shout out to you, Riri. Don't every black family have a Riri? Riri, let me tell you something. You do know that you everywhere, Riri. Everybody got a Riri. Now, let me tell you something about Riri. My oldest niece, her name was Riri. We called her Riri. Her name was Caricha, but we called her Riri. Every black family has a Riri. Riri, thank you for being Riri. That's all I want to say. Moving right on. I appreciate you guys. Shamila, thank you for being here. Rita, thank you for being here. I tell you that one thing about Rita. Rita's beautiful. Thank you so much for being here, Rita. I appreciate you. And to everybody, Uncle Fred, did I say Uncle Fred? Fred Samuel, thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys. Sandra, thank you guys for being here. I went down the list. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Daryl Moore, thank you for being here. Who is here? Teresa, Ebony, thank you guys for being here. I had to speed down this list because I got to get into this story. We got a lot of stuff to cover tonight. I am Pastor T. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Christine Parks. I love Christine Parks. Shout out to you, Christine, as well. Everybody, thank y'all so very much. I appreciate all of you guys. All right, now let me just go through a couple of housekeeping things. You guys are about to see me start to wear a black shirt a lot more. Let me tell you why I'm wearing a black shirt almost on every episode of this podcast. Because the 4K camera, it has an issue distinguishing sometimes between the colors. And so this black shirt tends to work really well. I'm gonna try to go get some more solid black shirts, so I don't have to wear this one, even though I have more than one. But just so that you guys know, if you see me in this black shirt a lot in the videos, it is because we are using 4K, and 4K picks up a lot of stuff. Now on the StreamYard now, this is HD. But when I do the other videos, they're all in 4K, and 4K is giving me a mess right now. But anyway, and we ain't even got to use the top tier of the 4K yet. It's a trip, but that's a whole nother matter. I know somebody said, but listen at you, Mary, hilarious. Black power. I know this shirt. Listen, when you put on a black shirt, every other color dims in comparison to it when you're using 4K. Isn't that a revelation? Yes, and somebody says it, and he's right. It helps with the 4K lighting, which is true. And I'm learning that. Y'all know I didn't have no 4K camera, and I've been playing with this darn 4K camera for the last couple of days. But anyway, that's where we're at, and that's what we're dealing with. So I just wanted to make you guys aware of that. Let's talk a little bit here. We've been dealing over the last couple of days with Pastor Elijah McDavid III. This gentleman, his wife came forward, and if you are unfamiliar with my video, you can go back to the previous video that I made, or you can check down in the description of this video, and it will link back to the original video where I played the wife's video. We're going to play the totality of the mistresses or alleged mistresses video today. But I wanted to talk about this from a higher perspective. We need to go up on how we talk about these things, because there are a lot of moving pieces to this stuff. But before I get into this, let me address this. I think some men on the internet need to understand the definition of misogyny. I don't think some of these people understand the definition of misogyny. But before I get into that, also, you need to understand that some of the oldest manuscripts of the Bible that have, quote unquote, been discovered date back to over 3,400 years ago. So when you guys are trying to speak to people who study the scripture and who study the word of God, you need to understand that some of these texts that we are claiming to be the word of God predate, and they go all the way back to over 3,400 years ago. So when you start addressing some of these modern issues that the church is facing, I don't think a lot of you are putting into proper perspective that a lot of the things that we are discussing are bringing in ancient texts that were dealing with a different type of individual and persons during their time. Now, I understand that many of you are going to start immediately talking about, well, God doesn't change. The word of God doesn't change. And I get all of that. You're not talking to a novice. I get all of that. Listen to me. God, as his personhood, may not change, but the methodology or the methods by which God uses to get certain things done in the earth most certainly change. And one of the reasons why the church, and especially the Black church, and I've been trying to talk to you all for years, it gets into so much trouble is because you all are normally late to the curveball. You're always late. And God always has to bring people to the forefront in order to push you into a relative knowledge of the times in which you are living. 14 years ago, when I was on the internet and the Church Folk Revolution was on the internet, trying to tell it on social media and to start using their social media platforms to grow their ministries and to grow what they were doing, they called us demons. They said we were heretics. They said you couldn't worship online. They said all of these other kind of things. But then COVID happened. And then what happened when COVID happened? Everybody started worshiping online. Everybody had, they got a million apps and a million ways for you to give money, et cetera, et cetera. So what I'm doing, and what I want you all to hear me in 2026, I want every pastor, every preacher, every leader to understand, if you claim to be called by God, you need to learn how to use all of the tools that are in your arsenal in order to reach the people that you feel like God has called you to reach. Some of you are still stuck in an old wineskin and you have an old mentality. It's almost like a 23-year-old kid coming to a 90-year-old man who is still alive and trying to teach him how to use an iPhone. I know it gets frustrating. I know some of you are frustrated at the fact that we're even having these types of conversations. I get it. You cannot understand why God hadn't struck some of us dead and the earth hadn't opened up and swallowed all of us. You are perplexed and confused. But what I'm trying to tell you is not all vloggers are the same. Some of us are called, predestined, preordained by God to do what it is that we're doing. I know you got some vloggers in certain spaces and places. They don't feel any responsibility to the church. They don't feel any responsibility to the people of God. And I'm okay with that. That's fine. They have their purpose too. But for those of us who are in our purpose, those of us who are on our purpose, we have to be mindful of our purpose, and we must understand what we have been called and ordained to do. Okay? All right. So understand that. Get that. All right. I just want to make that. Let's talk about misogyny for a minute. Because I heard a preacher and a pastor say on the internet just not too long ago, I could name your name, and you are a very popular YouTuber. I'm not going to name your name. Said there is no misogyny in the Bible. Either you don't understand the word or you are just willfully ignorant. So because I love language and because I love these words, let's talk about the word misogyny before we get into our topic tonight. Here we go. A person who is misogynistic has a dislike or a contempt or an ingrained prejudice against women. Now, I don't know what the word is for it towards men. I know what the word is for it towards women. So if somebody in the chat, if y'all want to put that in there, what is the word for it when a woman has an ingrained prejudice against men? Because there are some women who have that too. I don't know what that word is, but y'all can help me out in the chat. This word is a noun. It describes a person, place, or thing. Understand something. When you have a dislike or a contempt or an ingrained prejudice against women, that comes from a specific place. Okay. Understand something. A lot of brothers and men, brothers, I'm going to break some bro code tonight, and I'm going to make some of you a little upset with me. But grow up. I'm of a certain age. I don't have time to be playing these games anymore. And, I'm at a certain age. I'm past all of this stuff. All right. Anyway, some brothers have an ingrained disdain for women. Ladies, I want y'all to hear me and hear me well. What I'm about to say to you, some of you are not going to believe me. I have said this to certain moderators and certain people behind the scenes, and they get very shocked when I say things like this. There are some men who have been taught, and it has been ingrained in them, that women are stupid. Get this. Women are dumb. You're way too emotional to be trusted. Okay. And it has created an attitude or a disposition that women are good for sex. Women are good for maintaining a home. Women are good for helping to create children and raise those children. But as far as intellect is concerned, and as far as trusting a woman's judgment, there are a lot of men who will not trust your judgment at all. I want you all to hear me and hear me very well. I have said over here on this platform a lot of times that it is easy for a man to make love to a woman. We can make love to you in the morning and leave you by 6 p.m. and have nothing else to do with you, and vice versa. There are some women that have that same power. They got that same power. Some women got that same power. Understand something, that because a man makes love to you does not necessitate the fact that he entrusts or believes in the integrity of you or the wholeness of you as a person. There are a lot of men who can have sex with a woman and don't even care about her body, don't care about her mind, don't care about any of those types of things, because it is just, as Moni just put it in the comment section, is just sex, right? Love and sex is a different situation. And while this is on my mind, let me say this. I don't want another human being to ever come to this platform, and when I have to speak against something that a woman does or says to me, because she's a black woman, I don't care about black women. Y'all know, last year, if y'all want to tell me anything that stuck with me more than anything, it was the evilness. And I know where it came from. Oh, trust and believe. I know where the genesis of that started. To tell me that I don't care about black women. This platform has always been to support women, children, victims. And I don't care because pastors can be victims too, understand? And so even in this situation, Elijah McDavid III could be a victim. We don't know, because we've only heard what the wife has presented in this situation, right? So we got to have some balance here, okay? And this is me trying to bring balance here. Y'all ready? Let's go. I told you this conversation going to get interesting tonight, all right? This going to get interesting. I am a supporter of black women. My mother is a black woman. My sister is a black woman. My nieces are black women. All of my aunties, black women. You understand what I'm saying? That kind of stuff should never be brought up in the same sentence of my name. And I'm going to tell you all moving forward, especially in 2026, moderators, pay attention. If anyone comes in my chat and says anything about me not being supportive of black women, you are to block and delete them immediately. Immediately. Here's another caveat. I'm telling everybody who is connected to me, whether you are a moderator, whether you are somebody who has supported my platform for all of these 14 years and you have known who I am, if you say anything of a sort, I am going to block you and delete you and send you on your way. And that is just bottom line and period. It is not to be mentioned over here at the Mad Church Disease channel. Black women, look at me and listen to me carefully. I love a black woman. The reason why I am still not married to this day is because I am intending on marrying a black woman. You need to hear me. I've got family members that are as nervous as a cat staring a mouse staring a cat eyeball to eyeball. I got some family that's real nervous because they're afraid, not that there's anything wrong with marrying a white woman, but they just determined that I'm going to marry a white woman. That's what that is what they say. That is the running joke. My mother is afraid of that to this day. I swear to God, I'm not lying. That is my mother's biggest fear. But anyway, back to misogyny. I went off on a tangent. It is an ingrained prejudice against women. Some men have a mentality that women are not worth anything. I am not that kind of a dude. I understand the wisdom and the anointing that God has given women. Women have something that a man will never possess. Most of us, listen to me very carefully. Women have, we refer to it as women's intuition. There is something innate in a woman that I believe that she got from God. I believe every woman has this. I think not a lot of women are in tune with it and they're not in touch with it as they should be, but I trust a woman's intuition. A lot of times I trust a woman's intuition more than I even trust my own thought process. If a woman gets a feeling about a thing, you can best believe 9 times out of 10, that's coming from a spiritual place. And it is a man's. It doesn't mean that you're diminishing what you think and what you feel, but you need to understand and not be so dismissive of your wife's inclinations or your girl's inclinations. Stop being so dismissive, because a lot of times I have listened to women and gotten myself out of a whole lot of stuff and avoided a whole lot of stuff because I listened to what they had to say. That is the God's honest truth, because that thing comes from God. And you're not going to tell me otherwise, because I have seen it work way too many times. I have been saved by it too many times, and I know that darn thing works. You can call it women's inclination. You can call it anointing. You can call it a word of wisdom, a word of knowledge. I don't care what you call it. It comes down from the belly of a woman, and you better learn how to trust it. Some of you are being stupid. Some of you are in some of the situations that you're in right now because you don't know how to trust your wife. You don't know how to trust your girlfriend, and you just trying to have a whole bunch of male bravado so you can be like, oh, you was right and she was wrong. You're stupid, and you're going to find yourself financially depleted. I don't know who this is for. This is my message tonight. Get ready. I told you I'm going to break every rule there is. I don't know who this is for, but you better stop being so hard-headed when you're not listening to the person that God has put in your life. You said that this is the woman that God gave you. You said this was the woman that's supposed to be in your life. You need to learn how to trust the inclination that this woman is giving you. Stop being so stupid and stop. And listen, if you don't trust her inclination, at least go pray about it. At least go talk to God about it so that you can get a word for yourself and say, okay, listen, Abraham had to do it. Abraham had to do it. Abraham had to do it. And the word of the Lord came to Abraham and said, listen, you need to hearken to the voice of your wife. Sometimes you need to learn to hearken to the voice of your wife. Let me move on. Because there was another word. Let me see this. Let me tell you about the word contempt. I'm walking heavy tonight, and I'm be honest with y'all, I got all the time, so I ain't in no rush. So y'all stick with me tonight, because we're gonna get there. When you have contempt for a person, you consider that thing worthless. And you constantly, you think that thing deserves your you think that person or that thing deserves scorn from you. When a man considers a woman worthless or has misogynistic mentality, he can have sex with you, he can make love to you, but he still thinks that you are worthless. And to a woman, some of you ladies think that just because he made love to you, that he loves you, or that he's emotionally tied to you. I don't know why I have to keep repeating this to people. You can have sex with a person and not be emotionally tied to them. Now, I know the church has taught us a whole lot of stuff about soul ties and all of this stuff, which, by the way, is not even in the Bible. I know that you all have all these sorts of mindsets and all of these sorts of things, but listen to me very carefully. It is possible for people to have sex and simply walk away, because it doesn't necessarily have to do with the mentality of the person. It has everything to do with the physical act itself. Okay? Understand. And let me just say this. I do believe that the over feminization of men has definitely been a problem in the institutional church. I definitely believe that, but I do not believe that is all men. I think there's a lot of guys, but not all men. And let me tell you why I'm going to say this, and let me bring this up, because this is another thought I had today while I was coming up with my notes and thinking and preparing this message. when we talk about how do you define a weak man, or what makes a man weak? You have to give an understanding and articulation to these types of things. What makes him weak? Because the mere fact that some men think that listening to a woman makes him weak, or having the wisdom enough to trust the woman that God has brought alongside him to help him as a helpmeet, is a weakness, right? Because you hear people say, you know how we do, fellas. Come on now, don't be stupid. Oh man, you just listen to that female. You gonna do? Because I've done it. I ain't even gonna lie. I think I told my followers. I think I told y'all one time when me and my friend was going out with Magic Johnson's assistant. One of my friends was dating his assistant, and we were going out one night, and she told him not to go, and we was all in the back seat tapping him like, you gonna listen to her? That was our mentality. You gonna listen to her? Even though she was in the relationship with him, and she was telling him what she wanted out of him, but in our minds we just wanted to go out, right? So we was like, I know you ain't listening to this woman, right? But in a lot of fellas' minds, that makes him weak, right? And so that's something that needs to be understood and talked about. Okay, but I get your point. I understand where you're coming from. All right, so let's talk about this mistress for a second. Now I'm going to bring up this video here in just a second, and I want us to talk about this, and I want us to deal with this, because I do believe that this needs to be dealt with. Let me bring this up on the screen, and let me go all the way back. All right. And I'm going to bring this up on the screen in a minute. But I want us to listen to this alleged mistress that Elijah McDavid's wife has accused and reposted, allegedly, a video of, and saying that this young lady is the mistress. I want us to Lord have mercy. Let me stay focused. I'm going to stay focused. I'm not even going to pay attention to the chat. I'm just going to stay focused. Moderators unite. Moderators unite. That's all I got to say. Y'all know what to do. Oh, Lord Jesus, y'all help me, Jesus. Moderators, help me, Jesus. This is supposedly the alleged mistress of the said pastor. She did make a statement. I know many of you have probably saw it and heard it, but I wanted to talk about this tonight, and I want to dive into this a little bit more. Here we go. And thank you, Mary, because I called Mary and told Mary tonight to keep me on my task. So let me stay on my task. Ladies and gentlemen, let's deal with this. This is the alleged mistress, and let's have a conversation about this.
I am saddened and disheartened to have to make a video like this. I was going to allow it to pan itself out with the people that were involved, but the moment that my name came into it and screenshots are being posted with my name in it, I felt like I have to say something. I am not mistress. I am not someone that is maintaining an inappropriate relationship with your husband or anybody for that matter. I am not somebody who wants to intervene or get in the middle of your relationship.
Okay, now with that, she first of all establishes the groundwork that she's not a mistress. She's making it very plain that she's not a mistress. She's not trying to get involved with anybody's marriage, anybody's situation. I'm going to break that down a little bit further. But I want us to get through this, and for copyright reasons, y'all know I'm always stopping and playing the information.
What you should know is that this person and I dated for approximately 3 years. We started dating in June of 2021, and I also loved and cared about him. I also experienced all of the lavish trips and Michelin-star restaurants, and truly feeling like somebody loved and cared about me and truly felt like I could trust him. He and I maintained a relationship for about 3 years, and we lived together and everything. It was in the spring of 2024 that I found out some devastating news that my trust was broken and that I was humiliated. At that point, like you, I also tried to see if we could figure things out and maintain the relationship. That's not necessarily something that I would recommend to anybody today, but that is my truth. We decided ultimately in about May of 2024 that we were no longer going to attempt to work on our relationship and that we would cut things off. From that point,
So she is telling you the other side of her dynamic as how she sees it. Let's continue.
he and I did not maintain contact the same way that we had before. We really did take a lot of space from each other. And later on that year, he started to reach back out and ask if I wanted to go to dinner or brunch, etc., and would invite myself and my friends out.
Now, Pastor McDavid, is this when you moved out and you got a separate residence? Were you starting to reach back out to women that you were involved with beforehand? This is just a question that I have, because that could have been a possibility here. But according to her, you started reaching out to her again. I'm not quite sure why you would be doing that, especially if you were married or in the process of getting married. I don't understand that. That's an interesting situation. And so I definitely want to find that out.
During these dinners and brunches, he would offer up that he is single, that he is by himself, that if he is going on these trips, he's going by himself, he's going on his sabbatical, and he's going by himself as a single man. To my surprise, he asked me to dinner in spring of 2025 of this year and let me know that he was planning to propose to someone. And I'll be honest and let you know that I absolutely crashed out in that moment because I felt like even though we weren't together, we had built a friendship over the last few months to where we could be honest with each other. I was frustrated because I felt like I didn't have a choice and that I didn't get an option of being able to walk away knowing that he was in a relationship with someone. I literally found out that you existed on that day. And when I checked in with other people, they let me know that they had been seeing your videos for a while and just thought that I knew. And that's why no one had told me. I talked to my mentor and he let me know that he was not about to propose, that he actually had already proposed to you before he said that to me. And I confronted him again and asked him why he had lied to me. I asked him what the reason was for not telling me that you were in a relationship this entire time. And he said to me that he didn't want to lose his best friend. I also that same day asked him if you knew about me and asked if he had talked to you about our past. And he told me he didn't think that that was necessary. I was really frustrated and I expressed that to him that day, that I didn't think that it was fair for anybody to walk into a scenario as delicate as this one, considering the context, that anybody should walk into this not knowing what's going on, especially when there are plenty of other people in the congregation that know. From that point, I decided that I did not want to maintain even a platonic friendship relationship with him and that my trust had been violated again at this point. And so I stopped communication with him, eventually blocked him on my phone, blocked him on social media, etc. It was October 25th of this year, which you know is his birthday, that I received a call that was not his personal number and not his social media, reaching out to me to let me know that he had been in what you would call an altercation that ultimately left him hit by a car. Again, I'll be honest and say that I thought in that moment, frustratedly, like, this is not my problem. I should not have to show up for somebody that has broken my trust on multiple occasions. But convicted, I felt like the right thing to do was to show up for somebody that you care about. And so, no, I wasn't showing up for him as a friend. I wasn't showing up for him as somebody that was looking for anything for him, not somebody that is looking to rekindle a relationship with him. I was showing up for him as somebody who had just gotten news that he was in the hospital and had been in a car accident. And I want to be clear, he and I have maintained a strictly platonic relationship since the spring of 2024. And so while I understand that there is extreme hurt, there is extreme frustration, there was extreme disrespect that has happened throughout this situation, while I understand that this is extremely humiliating and I would not wish this situation on anybody, I also will say that is not my character to maintain a relationship with someone that is in a relationship or someone that, especially someone that is married. And so I truly hope that in all of this that you all get what is owed to you, what is due to you. I pray that this is all worked out. However, I should not be the target for this anger. I truly do believe that it is misdirected. And to all of my friends, turned family, my community that have reached out throughout the last day and a half of everything that has been going on, for people that know the truth and know my story and know my character, that have shown up for me and supported me. Thank you for showing up for me. I really do appreciate that. And I hope that this all gets worked out. But I am not anyone's mistress.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is the statement. I believe this is the young lady. If I'm saying her name right, I apologize if I'm saying your name wrong. I want to say, how do you pronounce it? Is it Karishia? Y'all know I'm bad with names. Now, if y'all don't learn anything else about mad church disease, y'all need to know I am the worst. Her name is spelled Caricha, Karishia. That's what I'm gonna do. That's the best I got. Listen, they don't even let me call people's name in corporate. I'll be like, okay. Yes, she was crying. Yes, she was crying. And rightfully so. I think she has a right to be sad. And here's why. What proof do anybody have that this girl is anybody's mistress? We don't have no proof of that. But everybody done come out here and calling this girl a mistress. We don't have no proof of that. None whatsoever. You do not have no proof that this girl is anybody's mistress. Now, I have been in church where women have been accused of certain things, and they have been my friends. And because they have been attached to a preacher or know a preacher or been very close with the preacher, people have made all sorts of assumptions about them. And that's just not true. So the first thing I want to establish tonight as the point is, all she has been is accused, but she has not been proven guilty of anything. When you are labeled publicly as a mistress, yet no evidence has been presented to confirm the claim, this accusation can result in a catastrophic event in the lives of other people, especially if there has been no proof. Just because somebody puts something out in social media or says something from the pulpit does not equal verification. Just because the wife has come out on social media and said this is the mistress does not necessarily mean that this is the mistress. You might be able to do that right now. I understand, Riri. Listen here, Riri. Riri, I get it. Riri, I get it. I totally get it. Riri, don't make me laugh. I want time for y'all to start. I'm on point number 1. Stop. Lord have mercy. Riri already talking about she just gonna stay at home, read her Bible. Listen here, Riri. There's good pastors out there, Riri. There really are. But some of the, they get overshadowed sometimes because of some of these jokers. But anyway, Riri said, I'm staying home. Okay. The point number 1, she's only been accused. Number 2, just because a person comes out on that's still number 1. Just because a person comes out on social media and they make all these kind of salacious statements towards a person, that doesn't mean that stuff is true. That doesn't mean that this pastor's wife is actually telling the truth. We don't know that to be the case. We don't know that to be true at all. That's number 1. Now, once her name and her image has been attached to this scandal, the damage has pretty much already been done. Okay, because she's been accused of something and no one knows that this has been true or not. And it works both ways, especially even when it comes to Pastor Elijah McDavid. All I know is most of these women are not going to come out here and they're not going to make these kind of statements, sir, unless where there's smoke, there tends to be fire. Number 2, when there is a third person that has been added to a situation, they are not the person or persons who have made the vows. The people that have made the vows in this situation are Pastor McDavid and his wife, Miss McDavid. This young lady did not enter into a marital vow with neither one of these jokers. So the responsibility of faithfulness in marriage lies with the people who made the covenant. Okay. Now, see, this is a thing that I know it's going to be a little controversial tonight, but let me just go ahead and say this. If you're inviting people into your marital bed and you're inviting people into that situation, sir, ma'am, you have broke the covenant. You have broke the covenant. And it doesn't matter. You cannot be dragging a third party into a situation and then people want to put the blame on the third party. Because, you know, we love to call people home wreckers and all of this other kind of stuff. But listen here, if you all have gone outside of your marriage, sir, ma'am, whoever you may be, you have gone outside of your covenant to the person that you married, as well as the covenant that you made to the Lord. You've broken that covenant, not that third individual. Because guess what? Some of these people that y'all break covenants with aren't even Christians. They aren't even saved. They don't even know what's happening. It's like getting on a boat with somebody who's got a call on their life, and all of a sudden now you find yourself in a storm and you somewhere on a boat asleep, until the people have to figure out why are all these winds and these waves and all of this stuff happening, because somebody has a call on their life and they done screwed up. And now we are in the midst of this storm in life because they don't want to do what God has called them to do. Can I just say, guess what? You're going to have to be thrown overboard. Lynn Pearson, where you at? Throw me overboard. I've got a hiding place. Throw me overboard. I've got a hiding place. Throw me overboard. I've got a hiding place. I'm just saying. Y'all know I'm churchy. Y'all know I'm churchy. You know, you understand what I'm saying? And now you headed, as Lynn said, now you're on your way to Nineveh, but you done got some people in a storm-ridden situation because you don't want to obey God. My God from Zion. Here's this pastor, here's this leader, here's this man of God who God has entrusted and given the authority and position and care, and entrusting him with the word of God, but he doesn't have enough integrity. He doesn't have enough maturity. He doesn't have enough of those things. And that's why I said I wanted to know who counseled this married couple before they got married. I mean, real counseling, because a lot of this church counseling, a lot of this stuff y'all getting is not real counseling. It ain't real counseling. It ain't real counseling. I'm just saying. Moving right on. But let me just say this. Let me say this. The person who made the vows are the people who are responsible for it. That's the second thing. Churches often shift the blame to the unnamed or a named woman instead of addressing the leadership failure in their pastor. If you are in that church over there, and I haven't forgot the name of the daggum church. If you over there and you're trying to make her the issue, this so-called mistress, she is not your issue. What is your issue, ladies and gentlemen, is the unwarranted and unnecessary failure of your leader. Your leader is the issue, not the young lady. Let me also say this, because I saw some of you put this in the comments just a minute ago, and this is point number 3 that I want to make. I told you I got about 8 points, so y'all hang tight tonight. This point number 3. Point number 3 is this. Being silent does not necessarily mean you're guilty. Some of you preachers and some of you mistresses and some of you people who come on the internet, you don't always have to respond when somebody accuses you of something or says something about you. Can I say, this is also something that I'm learning when it comes to these nasty, nappy-headed vloggers. Oh my Lord. Y'all hit the like button. Listen, we're going to the hill of the Lord tonight. We're going to the mountaintop. I need to make sure y'all are hitting the like button, because this is about to get real good. Hit the like button. I'm gonna pause right now. I'm going over here to see if y'all hit this like button, because I'm about to get into some stuff. Oh Lord, this is about to get good. Oh Lord, this is gonna get good. If you ain't hit the like button, you better go hit it now. I'm trying to tell y'all. Hit the like button now so I don't have to stop. Okay, just hit the like button, because we already fit an hour in here. And all I got is 98 likes, and I got almost 300. Can y'all get me to at least 125 likes? Go ahead. I'm gonna wait for you to do it. As a matter of fact, let me see how fast y'all do it. If y'all do it quickly, I won't take a break. Go on over there and hit the like button, please. Stop. Y'all go hit the like button. Hit the like button. Because I'm showing 98 likes. Can I get y'all to at least get me to 120 likes, please? Oh, Miss Lex. Oh, we're going to get into some things. It's Friday night. I promise y'all. I'm going to bless y'all real good. Just, I'm going to bless you. I promise you I'm going to bless you. This is going to be real, real good. This is going to be real good. Y'all know me. I try to elevate the conversation. Here we go. Here we go. Y'all ready? Where'd y'all get me? I got me to 110. Can I get 10 more of y'all to hit the like button? Darnell, Darnell, I'm about to go sweeping through the city. Then we'll go sweep. But you know what, Darnell? Here's another thing. You know, all of these dudes who are not familiar with church culture, always coming in, trying to intimidate the males who are in church culture, trying to make us feel inferior because we have found a home within our culture. Understand something. I'm too old to let these knuckleheads try to make me feel like some kind of way our church culture is inferior to any of those other religious cultures. Oh, we're going to go sweeping through the city tonight. Oh, yes, Lord. Where our Captain Jesus. We going sweeping through the city. I'm still waiting. Did y'all hit the button? Oh, I got one. I need one more like, and we'll be at 125. Y'all gonna hit the like button. Bush people, please. Happy New Year to y'all. I know some of y'all don't rock with me, but can y'all please hit the like button so we can move on? I appreciate it. Oh, thank y'all so much. I appreciate it. All right. No commercial. We're gonna move right on. Here we go. Here we go. Here's what I'm learning, even about me. When I came back to YouTube, you know, Daryl Moore and I was in the midst of a whole bunch of mess on this here internet. And I think for a large part of that conversation, my ego got the best of me in the sense of when somebody lies on you and somebody says something about you, it really can drive you insane, especially if you're a person who understands the power of your name and your reputation. Because for most of us who have a good name and a good reputation, we want to protect our name and we want to protect the things that we work so hard for. But what I'm learning is so many people on the internet don't take the time to invest to get to know you. They just make all sorts of assumptions about you. And some people even think that you're playing a role when you come on the internet. Some people really feel like you're playing a character. But as you can see, I am myself, but if you make me mad, I can lay you out too. You understand what I'm saying? So there's two sides of me. I can get angry. I can be peaceful, which is primarily my nature, but I also can lay you out if I need to lay you out. And I think so often in this social media space, I found myself having to teach some ninjas some lessons about don't come for me unless I send for you. And that kind of skewed people's understanding of me, and it kind of gave you a warped understanding of me. And I'm saying all of that to say this, that being silent doesn't mean you're guilty. And what I have had to learn to do, especially in this social media space, is really ignore a lot of these vloggers and these social media people, because a lot of them are looking to stir up mess and they're looking to create situations where there are no situations. And if you're silent and you don't say anything, a lot of times to the public, you can have the appearance of being guilty. And to this young lady and to any other young lady or young man that finds themselves in this type of situation, I just want to simply say to you, choosing not to respond publicly can also be an act of self-protection for yourself. You need to protect the integrity of who you are as a person, and you do not want to put yourself out here. Take it from me, because I made some mistakes in this area. Oh, yes, I did. Oh, You want to protect yourself, and you want to protect your peace, and you want to protect who you are. Your friends know who you are. The people who have followed you and know you for years know you who you are. You don't owe the social media streets, and you don't owe the public no explanation because some man's wife came out and called you a mistress. You don't owe these people no explanation. You don't owe them nothing. Remember that just because you're quiet does not mean you're guilty. It just means that you are doing what I call an act of self-protection. You are protecting yourself. It doesn't mean that you're admitting to anything because you don't say anything. Because see, this is the other thing about social media that I don't like. This is the other thing I don't like about social media. You get some vlogger to say something stupid, and then y'all want to run over to the other vlogger's channel and tell them, well, he said this and he said that, as if the other vlogger has an obligation to respond to some Neanderthal over there on their channel who's saying a whole bunch of stupidness and stupid foolishness. Let me tell you, for those of you who follow me and who are over here, I don't owe no ninja on this here internet an explanation for nothing. Don't none of these ninjas pay none of these bills over here, and I don't have to answer to. I don't need to give a response to. You're lucky if I do it. I don't owe you nothing. All they're going to do is lie, and all it's going to do is keep a whole bunch of mess going, because a bunch of these people are just messy. And just because you choose not to say something does not mean you are guilty. Some of you need to learn the art of shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Just shut up and go somewhere and sit down and just be quiet. Just what you should do. Because I see this devil. Oh, trust me, I'm a spiritual person. I love the Lord with my whole heart, mind, soul, and body, and with all my strength. I love God. You don't love God? What's wrong with you? No, every time I say that, I always want to say that. I love the Lord. And you listen to me very carefully when I tell you something. Listen to me. There's a lot of things you can say about me, and my family will tell you this. One thing they will tell you is I have walked in the light of God's gospel my entire life. There is no shadow of turning around here. There's no shadow of turning. Now, just because you don't like the method by which I'm communicating, and some of you are not mature enough to handle it because you always feel like, some kind of way you're being attacked because people are having conversations, that is a maturity level in you that you need to grow up. You need to deal with that part of yourself that doesn't allow other people to discuss you or have a conversation with you about you that makes you get all up in your feelings to the point to where you just can't hush your mouth. Listen, these vloggers are going to be talking about each other, and we're going to be talking about one another until Jesus comes. Listen to me. Grow up. Grow up. I didn't call no names. I just simply said grow up. If you can't take that another person is somewhere over there talking about you, then you need to get off of the internet, because that's what these people on the internet are going to do. And you're going to need to learn how to turn off your television, turn off your phone, and not deal with this stuff and go on about your business so that you don't have to be worried about what somebody is saying. When I tell y'all authentically that I don't even hear half the stuff these people say on the internet, that's how I protect my peace. When you are caught in a situation where somebody refers to you as a mistress, you need to understand, if you've been caught and somebody's been calling you a mistress, sometimes just being quiet and not coming to social media, you don't have to answer everybody. You don't need to respond, because guess what? Some of these vloggers, they feed off of your response, because they're agitators and narcissistic people who have to feed their narcissistic supply. You understand what I'm saying? It is because they need you to feed their narcissism that they keep throwing your name out there every now and then, all casually. They keep throwing your name out there because they want you to respond. And when you choose not to respond, they don't know how to handle you. They don't know what category to put you in. Young lady, young men, if somebody puts you into a situation where they're calling you a mistress and calling you all of that, you don't have to respond to these people. And that doesn't mean that you are guilty. Now, here's the other dynamic to this. When pastors and spouses and people on social media are in powerful positions, start accusing these people of stuff, they get to formulate the narrative. They get to create the narrative, just like some of these vloggers do. The vloggers get to shape narratives and they get to shape conversations in such a way. That's one of the reasons why I'm one of the few vloggers who dropped the link on my program, because I'm like, look here, I don't ask you to agree with me. I just ask you to be respectful to me. You can disagree and we can have a spirited debate about your disagreement, but your disrespect of me is a completely different thing. So when you come into this chat, when you come on this program, you just need to be respectful. We can all be respectful of each other. If you're not mature enough to do that, I don't have nothing to do with you anyway. Moving right along. But they control the narrative. Number two, the other part of this is when you're being accused of something, you often have no platform to address the issue. And so for all of you that keep wondering, why do all of these people keep coming to the internet? And why does everybody keep running to the internet to say something? Here is why everybody keeps running to the internet. Everybody keeps running to the internet because they don't have the powerful positions like the pastor and the first lady to address these issues. So a lot of times they feel powerless. So a lot of times people say, well, why do they keep coming to the vloggers? And why do people keep coming to the vloggers? They come to the vloggers because they feel powerless and they want to be able to give their side of the story and be able to tell what the situation is from their perspective. When somebody is out here calling you a mistress, and you may not necessarily be somebody's mistress, it goes to your character. It could affect your business. It could affect your money. It could affect your community, your church community where you happen to be worshiping when somebody says that. So it can affect a lot of things when it comes to that. Okay, so that's all I want to say as far as goes there. Let me go to point number 4. Church culture has a pattern of scapegoating women historically. Here's another thing, fellas. It is in the scripture. When a woman is found in adultery, they don't build that. When people are found in adultery, they don't bring both of the parties. They typically bring the woman. We've seen this even in today's time. When a young lady is found to be pregnant in the church, we don't bring her and the young man and stand her and him up in front of the congregation. The only person that we stand up in front of the congregation is the woman. And this is what I talk about, the intrinsic misogynistic attitude and dispositions that some brothers have towards women. Because if you look at a woman as being inferior mentally, then you can, of course, attack her because you place no value on her spiritually. You place no value on her mentally. You place no value on her personhood. And when a person does not have value, you can disregard them. And that's what's wrong. I'm preaching here. This is some good teaching. This is some good teaching right here. Oh, yes, Lord. This is some good teaching. This is what's wrong with the institutional church and leadership. I want y'all to hear me something. Sometimes you can get in so high-minded that you disregard the values, opinions, and dispositions of the people that you're leading. So you become tremendously dismissive of them. Oh, well, they're just church hurt. This is what you get. You're just church hurt. And they shoo you away. You're rebellious. You're church hurt. Instead of you recognizing and understanding that there are validity to the statements that so many people in the church make. Jesus, as I often say over here, would always ask his disciples, who do men say that I am? It wasn't that Jesus was trying to be super spiritual, but it was Jesus temperature gauging the crowd of people to understand the mindset of the people. Part of the problem with spiritual leadership in church culture is you don't give credence to the mind of the crowd. And most of you don't even give credence to the mind of your spouse. My God. I done said so much right there. Whoo! By the way, I need at least 10 of you guys to support this platform tonight. Amen. If y'all can do that with $10, I would appreciate it. Now, I don't have no prophecies to give you. Ain't gonna be no hook of Messiah. Ain't gonna be no speaking in tongues. I just need for some of y'all to support the platform. That's all. And the Cash App information is on the screen. All right, let's move on. Let's move on, because I'm doing this for a reason. Understand certain when pastors and their spouses control the narrative, The accused often have no platform to defend themselves. Silence is frequently interpreted as guilt in church culture. If you are quiet, you're guilty. But here is the flip side of that. If you are loud, you're demonic or unspiritual. You hear me? You're loud or you're unspiritual. Somebody said, what? No angel dust? I ain't got no angel dust. I ain't got no gold flakes. I ain't got nothing. I don't have none of that. I ain't got none of it. Understand something. When you're loud and you cry loud and you spare loud, they say, oh, that person is rebellious, or they got a demon in them. And see, this is what confuses the church when it comes to vloggers, because you all don't understand the necessity of the work that we do. You think that we're all just disgruntled and we just hate the church. I get labeled with so much crap, it's ridiculous. And here's the sad part about it. I get other vloggers who try to label me as stuff to try to diminish my platform and diminish me. But you don't understand. You can't stop what God has ordained and God has blessed. Because you're looking at numbers. I'm looking at effectiveness. If I can do what God has assigned me to do and be effective in what I'm doing, I've accomplished what God wants me to do. You go over there to your platform and you do what you feel like God has called you to do. But over here, we're going to obey God. Now, I ain't got no holy pillows. I ain't got no holy sheets. I ain't got no oil. I ain't got nothing. It's just what I got. This it. Moving right on. Let's do point number 4. Oh, no, that was point number 4. Did I give y'all point number 4? Wait a minute. I was all in point number 3, and I don't think I gave you point number. Oh, point number 4 was the culture has a pattern of scapegoating the women. Shout out to Lori Coleman for putting the color on it. I appreciate you. Thank you, Lori. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for supporting the platform. I really do. Let me say this. Historically in church, women are accused, are labeled as being immoral. They're reduced to rumors. They're offered, most of the time, women aren't offered grace in the process of situations. And if you don't believe me, look at Vashti Innes and Brian Carn. Brian Carn is able to roll on with whatever he's done, and he's able to get the applause of the people. And y'all are mad at Vashti and that other young lady for even opening up their mouths. You must be kidding me. You must be kidding me. You must be kidding me. Okay, so y'all got to keep that in mind. So women are accused in church of scandals, are labeled immoral. They often have rumors surrounding them, all while the male leaders are often framed as struggling or wounded. So they'll say things like, oh, pastor's been hurt. He's wounded. Now, he done stuck his penis in everything moving, but he's wounded and he's hurt. Now, here's the thing about Gigi, and it's a good question, Lex. There's several things happening with Gigi. There's several dynamics with Gigi. Number one, Gigi was probably, I'm not going to dismiss what Gigi says happened to her. Gigi says that man made certain promises to her. Do I believe Gigi? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Do I believe that Prophet Lovey decided to change his mind and he decided to go a different way based upon counsel and some other people recommending him to go in a different direction? Yes, I do. I believe that he did that. But in the process of that, Miss Lex, there were hurt feelings. There were all sorts of things going on in that dynamic. But here's the thing, and here's the answer to that. If everybody would have kept their penis and vagina to themselves, nobody would be angry in that whole situation. I'm just saying. And as an adult, you do have to take on some level of personal responsibility for the choices that you make. Because see, one of the things that I often tell everybody, you are the sum total of the choices in life that you have made. Let me tell you something. Boy, this gets me emotional. God, I hate talking like this sometimes. One of the things that I have come to grips with in my own personal life, if you don't have the house you want, if you don't have the car you want, if you don't have the life you want, that you can't blame other people for that. Now, yes, some people might have not given you the best start. They might have not given you the greatest of place or plateau to jump from. But if you don't have the life you want, if you don't have the surroundings you want, you are responsible for that. I've often told all of you guys over here, God gives you your family, but you get to choose your friends. If all your friends are liars, backbiters, don't care about you, wouldn't give you $5 if you ask them for it, that's your fault. That's your fault. That's your fault. Did you hear what I said? God gives you your family. You don't have a say in that. And I believe God gives us our family as a schoolmaster, as a teacher. God gives you your family as a teacher to you, so that when you do go pick your friends, you will know what behaviors and traits to not follow behind. Because everybody in their family got a liar. Everybody in their family has a narcissist. Everybody in their family has a thief and a liar. Most of us got a crackhead in there too. Some of us got an alcoholic. All of us and there's no difference in all of us. Now, you can play that game with other people, but don't come on this platform trying to pretend like you ain't got no crackhead in your family and you're just so above the fray. Can you please pass the gray poupon? No, you got one too, Jackrabbit. You got one too. You just don't want to be honest about it. We all got one. You got somebody in your family right now that's got on 2 wigs and you can't even figure out why they wearing 2 pieces of hair. You just like, Lord Jesus. They got on a wig and clip on. They just confused as all confused can be. Some of us got people in our family that can't keep their hands off the children. You can't even let them be in the same room with the children, and you eventually realize what they all about. Can I talk about it? Can I talk about it? But church culture has a pattern historically of making the women the issue while excusing the pastor's behavior. He's wounded. He's under attack. All while the women are being framed as being temptress. They are Jezebels. Come on, we all know it. Come on, let's talk about it. That is misogyny. It is embedded in the religious power structures. And guess what? It is not even biblical justice, because biblical justice does not set you on a path for folks to label you as a mistress and to have you on the internet or on TikTok crying because somebody has labeled you as such. Biblical justice is setting the captives free and also telling the truth. Public accusations carry real consequences. It carries real consequences. And this is a young lady. And can you imagine the mental torment that somebody has to have? Now, I don't know. I can't speak for everybody. Now, this is a transparent moment. Here we go again. When Daryl Moore and I keep having to bring Daryl Moore, I learned a lot from that Daryl Moore situation. One of these days, Daryl Moore and I need to sit down and just do like a 2-hour live where we could talk transparently about all the stuff that we done learned. Let me tell you something. During that Daryl Moore situation, there were some nights my sleep was so restless, I couldn't even go to sleep. I mean, I would be so restless at times. And I know that God gives us his beloved rest. And not just a physical rest, but God also gives us a spiritual rest, right? That is the true essence of the Sabbath. The Sabbath is more spiritual than it is any particular day. I wish the body of Christ and the people of God would learn that. The Sabbath is more than just a day. The Sabbath is spiritual. It is entering into the rest of God, where you cease from all of your labor and all of your trying to get all of this stuff to work for you. Anyway, I don't want to go down that path. I'm sorry. Let me stay on topic here. But the Sabbath is spiritual, ladies and gentlemen. Let me move on. A lot of times, a lot of these women are having, and men are having, to deal with mental and emotional health issues. And the internet is relentless when it comes after you. It is a bombardment that is something that you cannot understand. When your name, your face, your picture is spread all over the internet, and you've got to deal with the anguish of that. Now, let me say this, and let me give some balance to this. Let me give some balance to this. Let me give some balance to this. Some people keep putting their names out in the public so people will talk about them. They keep doing all sorts of shenanigans in order to get people to have conversations about them. Truthfully, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Some of these vloggers and some of these people, they're doing this on purpose. They want us to talk about them. And the moment you make up in your mind not to have any conversation about them, they don't know how to deal with it. I had those on my ears and I felt like I was yelling. I felt like I was yelling. I'm like, I don't even want to be yelling. What am I yelling about? That's why I like those headphones. Those headphones are really good. But that is the aspect of that we have to understand as well. The internet doesn't forget. They're going to be bringing up this young lady's video time after time, year after year, and it's going to be relentless towards her. It's never going to be easy. Okay, let me move on, because let me go over the points again. Number one, she's just been accused. We don't know if that's the case. Number two, she is not responsible for going outside of the marriage covenant. She is not the one who made the vows. Number three, being silent doesn't mean that you're guilty. If you decide not to respond to these people, it don't mean you're guilty. Number four, church culture has a pattern of scapegoating women. And historically, it is filled with misogyny, and the church doesn't want to deal with that. I want to give you, let me give you number five. Public accusations carry real consequences. That's the mental health. I gave y'all that part. So number five is public accusations carry real consequences. We got to understand that. Now, let me give you number six. Number six, forgiveness does not require a villain. Forgiveness does not require a villain. Some of these vloggers on the internet have said some horrendous things about me. And if I'm gonna be real honest, I've said some horrible things about a couple of these vloggers. Really, mainly only one vlogger and some people that were peripherally around, because the rest of them people weren't even vloggers. They've said some horrible things. But in order for me to forgive them doesn't mean I need to make them a villain or I have to vilify them in order to forgive them. Do you know some of these vloggers have had to vilify other people in order for them to give their content and to do what it is that they do? They have made other people their villain in order for them to even do what it is that they claim that they're supposed to be doing. Isn't that interesting? Am I the only person that finds that fascinating? Sometimes when I sit down and I think about a lot of this stuff, I just be like, this person hates me and I've never done a single thing to them at all. And I used to spend time trying to think about it, but the Lord keeps reminding me of Bishop Bishop S.D. Johnson of the Macedonia True Vine Pentecostal Holiness Church of God Incorporated. I love to say it like that. We've been saying it like that since we was kids. But anyway, Bishop Johnson said something to me when I was like 14 or 15 years old. I've never forgotten it. I'm 50 years old and this thing is still in my mind. Bishop Johnson said to me when I was a teenager, he said, the devil will tempt people to hate you without a cause. They just don't like you and they don't even know why they don't like you. They don't even have causation or a reason to dislike you, but they hate you. But forgiveness does not require a villain. You're not my enemy. They're not your enemy. And if somebody accuses you of something on the internet, whether you're a mistress or whatever, don't make the wife the villain. Don't even make the husband the villain. Because you've already separated yourself and carved out a life. Now, are there emotions tied to it? Absolutely. No one wants to be called names and talked about like a dirty dog. But see, here's the thing. And this is the wonderful thing about serving our God. The Bible says we have an advocate with the Father who is touched with the feeling of all of our infirmities. The awesome thing about our God is that we have the ability to go boldly to the throne of grace that we may obtain mercy. I don't know about you, but I'm going into 2026 understanding and being thankful for mercy, because God had mercy in 2025, and I have a great expectation for mercy in 2026. I'm grateful for what God is doing and yet doing, but I also understand the weight of responsibility for what I am assigned to do, because not all vloggers are the same. Did y'all hear what I said? Y'all hear what I'm saying? Not all of us are the same. Not all of us are the same. But forgiveness doesn't require a villain. You ain't my villain. I don't have no villains on the internet. I've got some people I just don't rock with anymore, but you ain't my enemy. You're not my enemy. Now, in your mind, if you're thinking I'm your enemy, then that's between you and God. And if you have a relationship with God, I advise you to go talk to God about that. Yeah, you might want to do that expeditiously, because 2026 is going to be a year. I'm just trying to tell you. Let me tell you something. There are a lot of people that are going to be in a lot of trouble in 2026. And the landscape of a lot of things are going to be shifted in 2026. But the Lord kind of laid it on my heart about this young lady being labeled a mistress. There's no evidence that this young lady is a mistress, and we need to stop allowing people to just throw things out into social media and say, oh, this is who she is. We don't know that. You have, that wife and that husband has not given any single person proof that this young lady is anybody's mistress. Does she have a right to be on the internet trying to defend herself? Yes, because what other platform does she have? She ain't the pastor. She ain't the first lady. She can't get up in front of a crowd of people and tell her story. So that's why people choose the internet. That's why they're on social media. That's why they're on TikTok. That's why they're doing this stuff. Just thought I'd share. The wife's story has pain in it, and we get it. It's real pain. She's hurt, and we get it. She's lost her husband. She's pregnant. She deserves compassion as well. But guess what? Elijah McDavid III, he also deserves some level of compassion as well, because we've only heard this from the perspective of the wife. But some of his mansplaining has been problematic. Just like Jamal Bryant in this dress situation on New Year's Eve. Can you believe? Stick a pin right there. I digress. Can we just, let me say this. Can you believe that somebody's pastor got up on the end of the year, instead of addressing the future of 2026 and what God had spoken into his spirit and his heart, he decided to talk about a dress that his wife wore to a dinner? Let's get out of that. Let me go on to my point. Everybody in this situation deserves compassion. However, healing does not require creating an unproven enemy. When you're holding people accountable, accountability has to deal with one thing: truth, and a justice element, and a restorative element. Let me tell you something, because you cannot have real, true biblical justice without having truth, without dealing with the honesty and justice, but also for believers, a restorative element. Now, restoration has to come when those of us who are strong and who can look at a situation and can surmise that situation and speak wisdom into that situation. It is our responsibility to be able to say, guess what, guys? Now is the time to restore this person. Because the problem with a lot of preachers and pastors, and this is how the world and everybody in the church, this is how church people look at it too. We just don't tell you. I'm about to tell you. I'm about to help you. Pastors, preachers, leaders, listen up. The problem with all of y'all restorative side of justice and accountability is the restorative part comes way more quickly than the truth and the justice part of it. Before you know it, the pastor goes off on sabbatical, talking about he going to be restored and replenished from the Lord. And then 2 months later, he back in the pulpit like nothing ever happened. You done went way past accountability. Oh, oh, I tickle myself. I'm sorry. Y'all know I'm a goofball. Because, see, here's the thing. He done went past accountability. He ain't took accountability for nothing. And then when he do take accountability, he gets up in the pulpit and he says, oh, I take full accountability for what I have done. Well, what have you done, Ninja? I told y'all, my mama used to make me and my sister say what we had done. See, you don't come apologizing to me to my, I'm sorry. What are you sorry for? Sorry for what? I want to hear you say it. I want to hear you sit in the emotions of what you did. I want you to say it. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I want to hear you say what you did. Don't just come tell me that you're sorry and you're taking accountability. Now, here's a question that the church has to start answering for itself. What does accountability look like? Lynn, help me remember the pastor. Oh God, I would have to. Tony Evans. Pastor Tony Evans came out and say he committed a sin and he had to step down. It was years ago, but he stepped down. The sin had to be something so bad that he stepped down from the ministry and walked away from the church and turned the church over to his son. I don't care what none of y'all say. He can say that it was not criminal in nature, but let me tell you something. Something in the milk ain't clean when it comes to Tony Evans. And for the rest of my life, I'm going to raise my eyebrow at Tony Evans. He's back all right, but he's on the preaching circuit. He's not the pastor of the church. That's what he said, Lynn, but not criminal. Okay. But see, what does accountability look like in church? Do we not have a structure in place to what accountability and justice and reconciliation and being able to restore people? What does that look like? I think if you're going to be a pastor of a church and you're going to be a leader of an organization, you have to take all of those things into account. And those things need to be established. And to be quite frank with you, I think those things should be in writing. They should not be something ambiguous that the leader, the bishop, the intergalactic wonder is able to come up with on a whim because he wants to do that. Y'all understand what I'm trying to say? There needs to be a precedent set in the institutional church about how we deal with situations and what does accountability look like to us. Now, if you're not going to do that on a national or denominational level, you most certainly should be doing that in a local fellowship level. So you can establish with people in your church, hey, if we find out something about this sister, this brother, and we may have to sit them down for a while, we're going to hold them accountable. But what does hold them accountable look like? What does it sound like? And then what is justice look like when it comes to the parties that are involved if they are inside of that local church? What does that look like? Not only that, and I'm only using local church because that's what y'all say. Because, anyway, we are the church, but whatever. And then what does the restorative process look like? Restoring them. You need to know what that looks like. You need to know what that looks like. Okay. And what I'm finding out, many of these so-called churches don't have any of this stuff in place. None of it is in place. It's quite disgusting, actually. But number 6, forgiveness doesn't require a villain. In order to walk away and to have your peace, you don't have to make a villain out of somebody else. Have y'all ever had a person in your life, the only way that they could do good in life and go get a job and go accomplish things in life, they have to make their whole family their enemy? Have y'all ever experienced this? They got to view their entire family as trying to keep them from doing whatever it is that they want to accomplish and that they want to do. And so they just totally made you the enemy. It's like no one is stopping you from getting a job and getting a car and living the life you want to live. Why does your family have to become your enemy in order for you to go build success for yourself? Your family isn't your enemy. You are your enemy. Your laziness is your enemy. Your lackadaisical understanding is your enemy. Your lack of wanting to be mentored and told something other than what you want to do is your enemy. Because see, sometimes the fight is not necessarily with our family. Sometimes the fight is with your unwillingness to just be honest that you don't know what you're doing. And you don't want to seem as if you don't know what you're doing. And not all of us have the wisdom in every area of life. You got to learn, even as a man, sometimes, fellas, you got to learn how to trust your wife. And I started off by telling some of you that some of you are in some of the circumstances you in because you are so distrustful of your spouse. I don't understand that. As a man, if God gives you a woman, listen to me. This goes beyond cooking and cleaning and having sex. Y'all got to grow up. Y'all got to grow up. I'm going to spend the next 20 years of my life trying to get people to understand the value of understanding and placing a tremendous amount of value on the person that God puts in your life. And that includes your family, your friends, your spouse, everybody, your children. You need to understand and place a high amount of value on the people that God has put in your life. Some of you are too busy looking at you're too familiar with God, what God has given you. Some of y'all just got so familiar you disregard and you can't get the blessing from it. And that's part of the issue. Point number 7. I told you I only have 8 points and we're coming up on an hour and 40 minutes. Point number 6 was forgiveness doesn't require a villain. Point number 7. Now, this is what the internet and YouTube needs to understand. Oh God, I'm gonna get in trouble. Shandala bobo, ikando bosia. Oh Lord, this is gonna get me in trouble. If proof exists, prove it, ninjas. Stop coming to the internet telling us stuff without no daggone proof. I'm sick of it. I'm going to balance all of this stuff out and all of these stories out in 2026. I am not going to let you just come to the internet and tell me your husband is an adulterer and this his side piece and all of this kind of stuff and all of this stuff. Prove what you are saying. Prove what you are saying. Put a finger down. If you showed some proof of what you had to say, put a finger down. Put a finger down if all you did was come on the internet and accuse people of stuff without showing any proof. Did you do that? I think you might have. Stop doing that. If you're going to come out here on the internet, come out here on the internet with proof. Don't be saying and sending out a bunch of emails Don't be coming out here with a bunch of emails accusing people of stuff and saying that people have a sexual nature and all of this kind of stuff of lying and being hypocritical and all of this kind of stuff. Prove what you say, ninjas. Stop allowing folks to put you into stuff and got you coming on the internet looking like a whole stupid fool. Because you coming out here saying a whole bunch of stuff and you don't have a lick of proof what these people is talking about. And they just put you into. Now, let me tell you something. I ain't going to say no names. Some of you vloggers think that you have friends and some of these people are not your friend. I'm seeing some of these vloggers come out here and use other vloggers and make whole fools out of them. They making a whole fool out of you. You up there all animated and cussing and fussing and acting a whole fool. And you don't even realize that you're being used. Because you have to be able to think critically in the moment of things happening. And you have to be spiritual. And you have to be able to take things to the Lord and say, Lord, should I go this way? Should I do this? Maybe you don't have a relationship. Maybe y'all don't go and trust God. Because listen, I talk to God about a lot of stuff, pretty much everything. It's not going to be a situation that you put me in that if I get into a situation, I'm going to go to God. Let me tell y'all something. You don't have to believe me. When I met Daryl Moore, I went to God and started talking to God about Daryl Moore. That's what I did. I said, God, what's going on with this situation? What am I supposed to be doing? What am I doing? And when I got the word of the Lord concerning Daryl Moore, God has been so faithful even yet to this day. He honored the word that he spoke. That's why I don't care whether you think it, believe it or not, because we've seen it, or we've seen God honor his word, and we've seen God do what he said he was going to do. And some of you are sitting over here still thinking that you're vindicated some kind of way, that you told the truth. No, the whole internet and the whole world know you're a liar. They know you're a scrotum sniffer. They know you're a bread basket splitter. They know all of those things. We don't have to come out here and keep repeating it, because the whole earth sees you for who you are. The whole world sees you for who you are. And why then do we have to come out here and defend ourselves when we have seen countless times over and over again, people being brought down with crooks, people going off to federal prison while trying to teach folks, oh, I'm wise in this area. I have all the brains concerning this, and the people going to jail. Okay, people going to jail. I'm asking for the Mad Church Disease channel in 2026 to grow and to be wiser. I'm asking for us to go somewhere with this platform that's going to create a level of change that most of these people they have no idea what's coming. I'm getting you prepared for something, Mad Church Disease, and this channel and this podcast. I need for y'all to understand. Number 7, if proof exists, present it. Stop naming people. If you don't have no proof, stop naming people. If the evidence exists, it should be clear. It should be verifiable. It should be presented responsibly, and it should be handled with a tremendous amount of care. That's why not a lot of vloggers need to be handling folks' truths and folks' emotions when it comes to these subjects, because you don't have the ability to deal with the type of care that's necessary to deal with these subject matters. Let me say this. I haven't always agreed with everything that I have seen on the internet. Y'all know I am not a big proponent of looking up folks. For those of you who follow me, y'all know this. Y'all know I don't like this whole looking up folks' private information and pulling all these people's private documents and all that kind of stuff. Y'all know I don't like that. But just watch the vloggers and the people who do this kind of stuff. And for some of you, you think you're being told some information. Y'all think y'all get, well, so what? You find out where somebody lives. What's that got to do with whether or not the person is telling you the truth? Because you find out where they live. Now, if they were lying about where they live, okay, that's different. But I'm just saying, why do you need to know where somebody goes to church? And why would what? Some of this stuff is crazy to me, and I can't wrap my head around it. And we all know you can't pick no lobsters from no backyard. Maybe if you keep them in a kiddie swimming pool, if your lobsters, Lynn, Pearson, I'm going to need you to stop. If your lobsters is in the kiddie pool, then you might be able to go in the backyard and pick them. I'm just saying. Go outside and pick them. Poor Deborah. Poor Deborah. Deborah, and I can't blame Deborah, because Deborah was sitting at a table with her husband and all these other grown men, with a woman sitting up there talking about she can go into her backyard and pick lobsters. How? Who? And with what? How do you pick lobsters from a backyard, lady? That just took a little bit of information to go research. Am I on my last point? Now, let me just tell y'all this. If you're going to continue to imply and throw out speculation, it's reckless and it's unethical. If you're going to say all sorts of things about Bernard Jordan without any proof, and TD Jakes and these preachers, I want y'all to hear me and hear me well. It is reckless and unethical. It is one thing to come out here and say, hey, the person is coming out here. You got a alleged mistress or a wife or somebody coming out here and they're doing the talking. That's different because you have video proof or audio proof. But for somebody to just come out here and insinuate and keep insinuating certain things about a person, to me, that is unethical and it is reckless behavior. And it is not deserving of your trust, and it is not deserving of your finance. It is not deserving of you to help them. You're funding the dysfunction if you're doing that. Now, this is my last point, and then I'm going to drop the link, and whoever wants to come up, y'all can come up. This is what we're going to hang our hat on in 2026. Listen to me carefully. The scandal is never really the issue. It is the underlying effects and what creates the scandal that is the actual issue. The scandal really reveals the bigger issue than the allegation. This is not just about a pastor, a leader, a woman, all of that. What this does is it reflects a culture of secrecy and a lack of accountability. The culture of church has nurtured a culture of secrecy and a lack of accountability. When leaders can hide behind their titles, their positions, and their pulpit to create damage in the lives of other people, you are complicit when you allow people to continue to operate in that type of behavior. When you are willing to lay the congregation on the altar and sacrifice the congregation for the sake of you continuing to have your leader, you are going to have to answer to an angry God. I know nobody wants to think that they're going to have to answer to God for any of this stuff, but listen to me. When you keep laying these young ladies and these young men on the altar and sacrificing them for the sake of your leader, guess what's going to happen? You are complicit in the behavior, and God is going to hold you accountable. I'm just delivering the mail. When you're trying to protect the reputation of the pastor, but you won't deal with truth and justice and honesty. Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. Jesus is the truth. God lives in truth. Do you want to know when you can truly feel the anointing of God? When it's in its truest and purest form. When you're standing in the truth of God's word and in the truth of the knowledge of God, it will literally bless you beyond what you could even imagine or think. But let me go on. Until the church decides to confront these systems and these cycles of abuse, we're going to continue to see these kinds of cases in 2026. Until the church is willing to stop protecting the charismatic leaders who have gotten so intoxicated with the power of their position that they do not understand that they are being reckless and they're sacrificing many people on the altar and offering them up as a sacrifice to their evil deeds and the stuff that they're doing. And here's the sad part about it. You're trying to burn an offering on an altar that doesn't belong to you, and what's on the altar doesn't belong to you either, because the people of God belong to him. And when you keep trying to set fire to the people of God and lay them on an altar so that you can get away and create the smoke of this sacrifice, it is going to come up into the nostrils of God, and it is going to anger him, and it has angered him. And somebody has to speak truth to power and tell you we are living in a dangerous time, because these systems are being brought down for a reason. The reason why the church doors are closing at an alarming rate is because you guys have laid so many people on the altar of your church and the altar of a pastor's reputation, the altar of allowing him to get away with what he has gotten away with, that this stuff has ascended to the nostrils of God. And this is a time when I'm just going to tell you, I think the whole earth is groaning and upset and travailing at this burnt offering that the church keeps lifting up before the Lord. It is not a sweet smelling savor. So sorry. We're burning the people. We're hurting the people. We're hurting young women. We're hurting young men. We're hurting people, and we need to give credence to it, and we need to stop playing with it, and we need to get real about it. I didn't mean to be so preachy tonight, but that's just how I feel. I got to give you how I feel like God gave it to me. We have to do that. The scandal is not the issue. It's the underlying issue behind the scandal. Now, we can all hold space for the wife's pain. We understand that the wife is hurting. We get that. We can hold space for this young lady's pain because we know she's hurting as well. But here's the other thing. We can hold space for Elijah McDavid III's pain too, because there's something psychologically affecting this man to where he would enter into a relationship with these women without understanding covenant and relationship while trying to pastor a church. Lord, I could preach a whole nother hour about that. How do you make a covenant with two women you can see and try to work and orchestrate a church and be a part of a church and a living, breathing organism that goes far beyond what you can see? Because the larger issue in understanding, pastor, preacher, intergalactic wonder, is that you are only a small piece of a larger organism. And the scripture is very clear. When the toe hurts, when the pinky toe hurts, the whole body hurts. Everything is in pain. And the church has been in pain for a while, but we just don't talk about it. We dance over it. We speak in tongues over it. We pretend like, oh, this never happened. Oh, pastor made all of these babies outside. Oh, we just gonna make sure that they get paid some money and go hush up somewhere. And we keep covering it, and we keep covering it, and we keep covering it, and we keep covering it. And we don't understand God is not going to allow us to continue to get away with this. The internet in 2026 and beyond. Now, I've been saying this for 14 years, so I'm just trying to tell y'all. This is just a ripple effect of what God has been doing for years. Y'all listen to me. In 2026 and beyond, it's going to be one unfolding after another unfolding after another unfolding. Hear me. Some of these vloggers that y'all see on the internet right now, who have been on this internet saying all of these salacious and lying on people and saying all of this stuff, you mark my words. You mark my words. They're going to have a reckoning day. They're going to have a reckoning day on this here internet. Their lives are going to catch up to them. Now, their money has already started to dry up, but you listen to me very carefully. God is going to hold all of us. And notice I said us. He's going to hold all of us accountable for what comes out of our mouths as we relate and deal with these situations, period. Now, if you're somebody who has dealt with this with a great level of integrity in times past, good. We're just going to keep doing what we've always done. But if you're somebody that has not had any integrity when it comes to dealing with these type of situations, I'm warning you now, you better straighten up. And you better get it together. Now, I'm going to drop this link for those of you that would like to come up and give me your thoughts on this subject. And I'm really looking forward to hearing what some of you can say. You're going to say. You could talk about any subject that I've covered thus far. I know I've kind of went into that dress thing again. So anything I've covered, you're welcome. So I'm going to drop the link, and let me do that now. Let me drop the link. Let me drop the link, and y'all hit this link. I'm going to pin this link. And y'all get yourselves up here as expeditiously as you can, because y'all know I do not be hanging on, waiting on y'all. So if you're coming up, hit the link. Welcome to the Mad Church Disease Channel, a channel dedicated to our forgotten brothers and sisters throughout the ages. Want to stay connected to me and the Mad Church Disease community? Well, then join our email community newsletter. Stay in the know with all the updates and fresh content that is created for this channel. It's time you join the private community for the revolutionary family, where we can talk and laugh all in a space that's safe with a no judgment zone. Connect with other members and build lasting friendships. The doors are now open. Want to stay connected and be notified each time I go live? Subscribe to the text community and be notified each time that we go live. Simply add your details for instant updates on all our lives. Are you a budding YouTuber or business professional who would like my thoughts on all things business related? Book a free 15-minute consultation where I can help with social media, YouTube, web design, and so much more. Book your consultation now and build your future. Get away from the rat race and build your business. All right. Thank you, you guys. We have a brand new booking page now for all of you that are setting your appointments. And that page is even they're going to make a small change to it this year, which I'm really excited about. But you can go ahead and book your consultation. Our entire system now is kind of interwoven with everything. Like, it's really cool. But if you would like to speak with me in regards to YouTube and starting a YouTube channel, you've been thinking about it, you're not really sure, you're nervous about it, and you want to learn, please make sure that you reach out to me. And I have a whole community that's dedicated really to helping YouTubers. So you don't have to feel so overwhelmed. I'll give you a free 15-minute consultation. I won't charge you a dime. We'll just have a quick little conversation and we'll talk about it. And you can let me know what you're thinking. Vic, I see you in the back and I'm coming up to you in a second there, sir. So just so you guys know, feel free to reach out to me and let me know. Now, on January the 10th, I'm having a AI prompting AI 101 class for YouTubers. I'm going to show you how to use AI to do a lot of things faster when it comes to YouTube. So you don't have to spend as much time doing a lot of this stuff, because I use AI now to do a lot of stuff that used to take us a long time. I declare, stuff that used to take us like an hour or two, you can literally do now in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It depends on what you're doing. So you can edit a video now, I declare, in about 15 minutes. Seriously, you can. So there's a lot of stuff going on. But Vic, let me bring Vic up. Shout out to you, Vic. Thanks for joining the Mad Church Disease channel. We can't hear you. We may not be able to see you because I saw you moving around back there. But we can hear you, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Vic to the Mad Church Disease platform. You are here, sir. And what would you like to add to the conversation?
Thanks a lot. First, let me say I enjoy your show from Jamaica.
Oh, cool.
I've been watching your show for a long time. You're off for a while. I don't know why, but when I discovered you were back on, I really missed your show. It's tremendous. I'm really drawn to the fact that I think you tell it like you see it, and
right.
That resonates with everyone, I think. So I've been noticing that there's a lot of craziness going on in the American church right now. I mean, there's a lot of craziness going on in probably all churches
right
worldwide, but I can't remember a time when I've seen so much madness being just displayed in front of the whole world. And I think we can thank the pandemic for that, COVID for that, because everybody is online and some people haven't gone back to church. Some people are still online. So,
well, they're not going back, Vic. I've been telling these people this for years. Vic, I don't know how to say it and how to make it any more plain to these pastors and preachers. They're going to have to shift their mentality and their thinking as it relates to the institutional church. How they view church is going to need to change, because it's going to have to learn. They're going to have to get back to community. The church has been more or less supporting the institution and not understanding the nature of the community. Church is not about the building of the structure. Church is about the living, breathing organism. And if they don't learn to get back to the community, I hate to be the bearer of this news. This ain't the greatest news to give, but it's the truth. We have to get back to community.
Yeah, it's there's a disconnect from what it used to be. I mean, I'm a third generation minister, and my grandfather told me the stories of how he'd walk miles to preach the gospel in the 1930s and 40s, and come back home Sunday night and sleep and get ready for work on Monday morning. The church is far removed from that mentality now. Especially, I hate to point fingers at you guys, but y'all just seem, well, I think I saw you put up something that said when one set of people got the gospel, they turned it into something else.
Oh
And
no,
then
I'll let you know right now. Here it is. I'll put it up for you so you don't have to guess what I said. Here it
yeah,
is for you. It says when the Greeks got the gospel, they turned it
right,
into a philosophy. When the
yeah,
Romans got it, they turned it into a government. When the Europeans got it, they turned it into a culture. But when the Americans got it, we turned
business.
it into a business.
Yeah, yeah, and that's sad because that's not what the first century church was about, and they were about spreading the gospel and making the disciples of all men. So when I hear a preacher can get up in the pulpit on New Year's Eve and be talking about his wife's dress, or another preacher can get up in the pulpit and be announcing his fiance when he's been living with a girl for 3 years. That just makes me sad for the next generation, because
Mm.
what will inspire them to reach after ministry in a wholesome and direct way? As you said,
But it's gonna happen. I'm gonna help you, Vic. I'm gonna help you. Here we go. The generation that's coming behind us is so entrenched in authenticity and getting results from the things that they spend their time in.
yes,
What you're going to find is that this next generation will be more community based and not so structured as we have been in times past.
yeah,
And what I've had to deal with personally is I've had to say, okay, Lord, how do I deal with this? Because I realize I'm not as young as I used to be. And, even though I think 50 is still pretty young, I think that's young.
yeah.
But I remember what I used to think of people when they were 50. I'd be like, you so old. but
Well, I'm
anyway,
51.
right. So, but I think, Vic, what we're going now, the revival that they claim that's going to show up, it is a different type of revival. It is going to literally go from heart to heart, house to house, breast to breast. And it is going to be something organically. It's not going to be like these old revivals that we had. It's going to be something tremendously authentic. And a lot of people are going to miss it. They're going to miss it because they're going to be expecting it to show up the old way when it's really going to show up in a totally different way. It really is.
Well, I really hope so, because my son has got to be able to preach the gospel. I don't want, the gospel of Jesus Christ has to be preached, and just like he has to be worshipped. He said one day, if these don't worship me, the stones will cry out.
Mhm.
So I think likewise the gospel has to be preached. Somebody has to declare the name of the Lord around the
Absolutely.
world. All right, man, it was nice talking to you.
All right. Now, Vic, before I let you go, you do know I only know how to play dominoes the Jamaican way. You all have ruined me when it comes to dominoes. Americans
Yeah,
don't like to play with me. I'm ruined.
yeah,
Because they sit up and count, but I love the Jamaican way. And a lot of my friends are from Barbados, Jamaica, on all the islands. So listen, when it comes to the pepper pot, when it
yeah.
comes to the conky, when it comes to all of that stuff, brother, trust me when I tell you, I know it. The festival,
Yes.
bread and all that stuff. That's all my stuff. That rice and beans. That's my kind of stuff.
We're gonna have to work on your accent a little bit, though. We don't
Oh,
say
yeah.
rice and beans. We say rice and peas.
Yeah, rice and peas. I know.
Yeah,
I
right.
know.
And we just say festival. Yeah, but we'll get you there. We'll get
I
you
know
there,
you'll
bro.
get me there. I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
yeah.
All right, I
I
appreciate it.
noticed you mentioned a Jamaican restaurant once, and I was really impressed with that, because our food and culture extends around the world. So much love to you, man.
I appreciate you as well. I'm trying to. Only thing that you guys make that I don't eat thus far that I found is the
Very
blood
good.
pudding. No, the blood pudding. Have you ever? They
Oh
make
no,
it's
that,
like
that's not us. Yeah, it's some kind of pie The
No,
name
no, it's not a
Sitgo.
pie. The Jamaicans I'll get it clarity from my friends.
Yeah.
They make a something with the blood of something, and I'd be
I
like,
know
oh
that
no.
I know the dish, but that's not Jamaican. I think that's British really, and you find it in some other Caribbean islands,
Oh,
but
okay.
that's
All right.
not Jamaican predominantly. We
Well, you do know,
don't.
but you know, y'all were ruined by the Queen. I'm just saying, a lot of them were ruined by the Queen over there.
We're trying to get ourselves separated from the monarchy.
I know, right?
The
All
monarchy
right.
right now.
Well, I'm not giving you a hard time. I appreciate you coming up. Thank
No
you so
problem, man.
much. All
All
right.
right.
All right.
Cool,
Thank
cool.
you.
Bye
All right,
bye.
Lex. Bye-bye. Lex, you are live on the Mad Church Disease podcast. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, I can. So, look, let me say this. Pastor McDavid, I don't think he was ready to be, he wasn't ready to turn in his black book, Marcellus. He was, it was some rules in place
Mm,
and being locked down like that. He didn't know that's what it was going to be.
right,
And he missed his best friend. So he
right.
spun the block on the young lady, which is really sad because I think he was more so when he did the engagement thing, was going along with the motions. And maybe you think one of the elders must have said, "Hey, it's time for you to get married. Pick
Absolutely, I
somebody,
do. Absolutely,
pick
absolutely. Because
something to introduce her to the church." It has to be that.
it happened to me, and this is why I know it's true. And but I'm not no fool, and I'm not just gonna go
Oh,
marry
I can't
somebody just
hear
because.
you.
Can you hear me? Wait, can y'all still hear me? Put a one in the chat if y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Let me pull this up. Okay, somebody said they can hear me. Because Lex said she couldn't hear me. Okay, now y'all made me nervous. Okay, y'all can still hear me. Good. I got all scared. What? Miss Lex, that's you.
I guess it was just mine.
Okay, yeah, that's you. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
I guess it was just mine.
I can hear you. Go ahead, Miss Lex. Miss Lex, we can hear you.
I still can't hear. I don't know what's going on, but let me just talk because I got two different devices. I missed what you said. I missed your feedback when I mentioned the elders told him to pick somebody.
Yeah, can you hear? Okay, well, what I said was it happened to me, and I know that he probably was getting pressure, but I refuse to go down that route because
Marcellus,
yes,
I didn't hear your feedback when I mentioned the elders.
yeah, I know they can hear me, but you
I
can't
missed
hear
what
me.
you
They
said.
heard
I
it
missed your feedback when I mentioned the elders told him to pick somebody.
because see, we can. I don't know if you guys can hear her.
Okay, well, what I
Okay, because she's getting. You know what, Miss Lex, go out and come back in. Just go out and come back, because if you're having trouble hearing, it's probably your audio. So go out and come back. Yeah, that's what Mary exactly. I got her, Mary, because it made me think. I'm like, you know what? How do we solve this problem? Go out and come back in. Go out and come back in. But y'all, that happened to me. Pastor Rodney J. Howard of the Israel Missionary Baptist Church in Compton, California. I name names. Called me into the office. And I told y'all what he said to me about that foolishness. But you get pressure from other preachers and other people for that kind of stuff. But this is what causes people to marry people that they don't have no business being married to. This is what causes it. I declare this is what causes it. And now you done ran off and married some young lady and messed up her whole life. Now she pregnant. Now you got a whole nother person, a baby, a child to deal with because you just wanted to be married and you had to run off and go get married. I'm just trying to tell y'all this is real talk. This is real stuff. This is real stuff. But I've given you guys my thoughts on tonight. I hope that, if you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. If you're new here, Please share out this live, because I think some brothers could learn something, especially about learning how to listen to the voice of the woman that God has entrusted in your care. Stop thinking that she's just a weaker vessel and she doesn't have wisdom. God gives these women wisdom, and God gave you your woman for a reason, and you need to learn how to trust and listen. I'm not saying that you have to take every single thing that she says, but what I am trying to tell you is you need to trust the anointing that God has placed on her life. But here's the other thing I want to say. You need to trust God's love toward you first. Trust God's love towards you, number one. Number two, trust that God's love toward you showed up in the form of the person that he has given to you. And then you need to trust the word. Oh, that was good. Oh, that was good. I'm going to say it again. You need to trust God's love towards you first, because you know he loves you. So you need to trust that love. Second thing, you need to trust the fact that God loved you so much that he gave you this person to come alongside and to help you. So you need to trust that love. I don't care how long you've been with the person. You need to learn how to trust the love. Do people have little innuendos and they be trying to do little underhanded motives about stuff sometimes? Yeah, they do. We know how women can be. Come on, fellas. I'm talking to the men right now. We know how women can be, and men can be that way too. I'm not saying that, ladies, but fellas, I'm talking to y'all. We know how women are. We got it. But the third thing, you need to also learn to trust God's love for the words that he's given and put in her for you to help you. Because that's what a help meet is. It's to help, come alongside and help. It goes beyond just cooking and cleaning and sex and all of those kinds of things. It also comes along with the wisdom of God and the wisdom of help. And I think Lex is right. The pastor had no intention of slowing down and stopping what he was doing, and that's just how I feel. I love and appreciate every single one of you. We've come up on 2 hours and 15 minutes, and y'all know I don't do shows that's this long. I appreciate every single one of y'all. Y'all, please make sure, if you have not yet hit the like button before you go, please make sure you hit the like button. And we'll definitely meet up tomorrow as well. If not, I'll have a little general video out so we can just chat for a little bit. But thank y'all for supporting yesterday's live, by the way. Y'all need to pay attention. A lot of those lives, the videos that I do, I'm going to set them up that way so we can chat with each other live in the chat, because I feel like that's really good for us to be able to do that. And so however long those videos will be, I'll set it up and I'll tell you at the beginning of the video how long it's going to be. But the other thing I want to say, get used to these black shirts, because the 4K camera, for some odd reason, loves these black shirts. I can't, for some odd reason, the other camera, it just causes all kind of problems if I don't wear black. But I appreciate every single one of you. Miss Furlow Speaks, shout out to you. Good night to you. I didn't see you in here. Shout out to all of the content creators if you're in here. Listen at you. Don't be throwing out stuff like that there and then tomorrow. Okay, bye. But I love and appreciate every single one of y'all. Thank y'all for supporting the show. And we'll talk about something tomorrow as well. I think I want to revisit something. The CEO pastor. We need to talk about that a little bit more. I need to give y'all a little bit more insight into that as well. Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. Please make sure that you hit the like button, and please make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and make sure you hit the bell icon, and make sure you press all notifications so that way you will never miss any of the exclusive content that comes on my channel. Make sure that you never miss a video. Now, I try to go live every day about 2:30 Pacific Standard Time, which is about 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. And then I come back at night at around 8:30 Pacific Standard Time, which is about 10:30 Eastern Standard, with some more exclusive content. So if you want more Mad Church Disease show content, we'd love for you to become a member, a revolutionary member of our channel. Please make sure that you hit the join button that's right next to the subscribe button or somewhere around here, so that you guys can receive access to special community posts. You guys get all of the access to my community only lives, because we've got some sip and chats that we're going to be doing, and you guys will get exclusive content. So just make sure that you head on over to the channel page, click on the join button, and make sure that you do that. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate your love and support, and I'll see you on my very next video.
We are Mad Church Disease, helping you understand that Jesus plus nothing is everything. This is a show for everyone, believers and non-believers, from churched to the unchurched. Help us grow the channel by supporting our non-profit causes and create more consistent content. Donate by Cash App or PayPal, or buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com.